Conversation with Jane today is about using questions to show your understanding or pass a speaking and listening exam. So this video is about the WH questions. We're going to begin with the structure we use in English. The question on your screen, how do you ask questions, is structured by the question word, the auxiliary verb, the subject, the main verb, and object or other information, and that's what I want you to remember for your structure when you're using the WH question. So do you ask questions? I've put that question on there to show you the difference. When you're using WH question structure, you start with the WH word, who, what, where, when, why. I've taken that word off and I've created the question, do you ask questions? So now I have the auxiliary verb, the subject, the verb, and the object or other information. So you can see that even without that question word there, the structure of the question follows the same order. Back to the structure we're going to use today: question word, auxiliary verb, subject, and you might add main verb and other information. Because remember, sometimes we shorten our questions and we only use the question word, the auxiliary verb, and the subject, or the main verb. So you can see there a quick revision of your structure. Looking at the photograph, if you're looking at a picture, you might ask the question, who? So you're using the question word who, followed by the auxiliary verb is, and the word at the end is the subject, and it comes from the phrase this person. We don't ask who is this person, but that's actually what the question means when we say who is this? You might ask the question where. Where is this? So you have the question word where, the auxiliary verb is, and again this is really representing the phrase this place. So we might ask, where is the University of Reading? Or where is this place if we're looking at a photograph? However, in English conversation we shorten that to just use the word this, and we say where is this, and everybody understands what that means. We might ask about time. When did you go? So I went to the Autism and Aging Discover conference in 2019 in July, and you might ask the question, when did you go? So you have the question word when, the auxiliary verb did, the subject you, and the main verb go. And remember, we might have added more information to that. We might have asked, when did you go to the University of Reading? When did you go to the conference? So although you're following the structure, you're shortening or lengthening that structure according to the words you want to use in the question and according to the person you are asking the question to. You might ask the question what? What did you do there? What is your question word, did is your auxiliary verb, you is your subject, do is your main verb, and there is the place, the extra information. You might have changed it to, what did you do at the University of Reading? What did you do at the conference? You might also be looking at a photograph or picture and want to ask more about individual people. So if you're looking at a picture, you're pointing to the person and saying, who is this? So again, you're using the structure, who is your question word, is your auxiliary verb, and this, do you remember I said that we use the phrase this person, but when we're talking we don't use the word person, we shorten it to this, and everybody knows that that's the subject of our question. Who is this? You might ask for further information using the question word What? What did you find out? If you ask that question, you're using a question word, what, the auxiliary verb, did, the subject, you, and then you're using the phrasal verb, find out. And that's a really lovely way to extend your sentence and let your examiner understand you know a little bit more about questioning in English language, and that you can use phrasal verbs. What did you find out? You might ask the question how or why. So how, if you're talking about the presenter, how did he share the information? You might want to know, did he show you objects? Did you see a PowerPoint? Did he talk to you for a period of time? So you use the question word how, the auxiliary verb did, the subject he, the main verb share, and then the extra words after the main verb as information to allow your listener to understand your question. So the question there was, how did he share the information? We all need to ask questions. Ask the question. This is showing that you're listening. It's also showing that you understand, and when you're being marked for English conversation or you're completing a speaking and listening exam, the questions that you ask and when you ask them is very important. When you ask the question, you're on your way to understanding. If you're in the classroom, ask questions. If you're practicing your conversation, ask questions. If you're completing an English exam, ask questions. And use this video to revise the WH question structure. Bye now.